bond yields just hit their highest since 2007, the dollar posted its worst single day in nearly a month, and gold caught a bid as the Fed held rates steady. Markets are on edge heading into Thursday. Coming up, a full read on Forex and metals, including the euro, the pound, gold, and more. A stack of high-impact events hits the calendar today that could shift the landscape fast, and the symbol-by-symbol analysis is straight ahead. Stay with us. The Federal Reserve held rates steady, triggering the dollar's sharpest single-session decline in roughly 4 weeks, while gold edged higher, though gains were capped as oil prices surged on fresh Middle East hostilities before pulling back. U.S. Treasury yields climbed to their highest level since 2007, reflecting pressure from geopolitical escalation and hawkish Fed pricing, while the Russian ruble crossed 80 per dollar for the first time since April. Asian foreign exchange was largely subdued overnight as markets repositioned ahead of key central bank decisions. There is a heavy event slate on the calendar today. The Bank of England rate decision, U.S. advanced GDP, U.S. core PCE, and German preliminary CPI are all due. And the single event to watch most closely is the Bank of England official bank rate announcement. Euro-Swiss franc is trending with strong bullish structure, and the path of least resistance continues to point toward higher levels as momentum remains well supported. Recent price action has been consistent with a market that keeps finding buyers on any dip, keeping the broader trend intact and suggesting extensions higher remain more probable than a reversal. Aussie dollar is trending in bearish territory, and the current structure keeps the path tilted toward lower levels while the setup holds. Price action has been producing lower responses at key areas, and the broader tone remains consistent with a market more likely to probe lower ground than stage a meaningful recovery. Kiwi dollar is showing bullish structure, with the trend leaning toward higher levels as the price action has been supportive. The setup points to continued pressure to the upside, making extensions toward higher levels the more probable outcome while this structure is maintained. Pound Swiss franc is carrying bullish momentum, and the trend remains pointed toward higher levels with price action confirming the structure is holding. The market has been consistent in defending higher ground, and the bias leans toward further upside follow-through as long as the current pattern remains in place. Canadian dollar Swiss franc is trending bullishly, and the structure suggests higher levels remain the more likely direction from here. Price behavior has kept the trend well-defined, and the market looks more inclined to extend toward higher levels than to break down, as long as the bullish pattern holds. Gold is carrying a mild bearish tone despite yesterday's Fed-driven pop, and the trend structure suggests the path of least resistance leans toward lower levels. The rally proved short-lived and capped, which is consistent with a market that may struggle to sustain gains, keeping lower levels in play as the more probable near-term direction. Euro-dollar holds a mild bullish trend, yet the probable path near-term tilts toward lower levels, suggesting the current structure may be in a corrective phase within the broader setup. Price action shows some hesitation at higher ground, making a pullback toward lower levels the more likely near-term move before the broader trend can reassert itself. Pound dollar is trending with a mild bullish structure, and the path leans toward higher levels as the pair benefits from a softer dollar backdrop, and the Bank of England decision in focus today. Price action has been constructive, and the trend favors continued attempts at higher levels while the current setup holds. Dollar-yen is carrying a mild bullish trend, and the path of least resistance leans toward higher levels as the dollar finds some footing, and the Bank of Japan outlook remains in focus. The structure has been supportive of upside attempts, and the market looks more likely to extend toward higher levels than to break materially lower while this setup holds. That is the ForexBullion morning brief for Thursday, the 30th of July, 2026. Keep the Bank of England decision and US GDP at the top of the watch list today, and hit subscribe so the next edition lands the moment it drops. This is general market information for educational purposes only, not financial advice.